Your destiny depends upon your own decisions, and where the ultimate weapon is your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please take your seats at this time as the program will begin momentarily.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gen X Dave. Mocha just popped in. Here's Lonely. This is Gen X and Beyond,
What up?
as always. Well,
What?
Lonely, we're about to hit our 2-month mark here.
Our
coming up
milestone,
next
eh?
Yep, 2-month mark on YouTube coming next month or next week.
We're going to be a real station.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
And in a few more months, we'll have a real studio
We
that
hope.
we won't have to pay monthly for. We hope. Grok, in Grok we trust. We will get it done. So, dude, if for any of those watching, I'm an electrical engineer, but like my coding in my education and my experience and work was very slim to none. I've spent most of my time debugging PLCs and logic and stuff like that, not actually programming code. So for me to sit here and use Grok to create an app from scratch, that's something significant. So anybody interested in that, go check out Grok. Use them, see how you like it, and ask them to write you some code. And there's an app for that, but Grok can make you one too. So Dave, in regards to what you were talking about last night, like Grok could overcome your problems. Like Grok is literally setting it up in a point and click, drag, copy, paste kind of way to where like I'm not doing any of the coding. It explains the coding so you can read the 3 paragraphs explaining what the coding is doing if you'd like, or you can just copy and paste the code, save it where it tells you to save it, go download what supporting files it tells you to download, and you're done.
Stop. No, that's too much info, bro.
And actually, you can download it straight from Grok.
Shut up.
Right.
Fuck.
Right.
It's a brain overload.
It is not a brain overload.
Dude,
Click
for
and
me,
paste,
it
click
is.
and paste,
No,
click and paste.
No, fuck that. If I'm clicking and pasting anything, it's goddamn programs for 3D printing.
Grok can do that too, buddy.
Nope.
I'm actually working on an app with Grok where I can describe an object in an object's geometry, and it will give me STL 3D or step file that is based on with infill programmed instead of the generic slicer infill. Because that's the thing that sucks about slicers is like the infill is critical to the strength of your 3D print. The infill is also critical to how much weight and how much material you use. So all these things are a critical factor. And the slicers all have these generic infills. And like you could literally spend hours watching videos on which infill is best, but they're all generic and none of them are adapted to the actual model. So, like actual 3D designers who are making their own 3D prints, a lot of times they'll generate their own infill internally so that the slicer doesn't have to do anything. And that way you can actually do an infill that's appropriate for what you're doing. Because, so if you're doing a 3-dimensional star, David, for instance, like there's no need for a lot of infill in that shape. And, the dodecahedron, the two pyramids intersecting each other. There's not a whole lot of internal structure needed for that shape, but you do need some infill. And AI could figure out the least amount of infill for the strength that you want. And like that, it could create an entire infill. And Grok's working on that with me too on the side. So I got about 17 things going with Grok right now. When I complete any one of them, I'll be sure to let you know the progress on it. But
sounds like me and characters on WoW.
Mm-hmm. You can make Grok make an app that'll create your own characters and then boost them and play the game for you. Like it's
That's against sauce.
it's against sauce. Well, I
Sauce.
mean, if you make an app that is all running the game only using the same inputs that you do on your computer when you're playing the game, then Sauce wouldn't really even know that a bot is
Toss.
the game.
Yeah, they will because they can. It, it'll get you banned.
How? If
Be,
you
all right,
if you ask
so
Grok to
there
make,
was an app or there was a program. All
yeah,
right, that my brother used to use that would fish for you. Okay, and
okay,
what you do, simple fishing program. What you do is you cast it out, kind of like Fortnite. Wait
okay,
until it goes under. You click it, it brings a fish in. Okay,
okay,
same thing. So he had a program that would take that, and every time it moved, for a fish, it automatically click it and put it in your bag, recast out.
okay.
And we'd set that up and then go to work. All right. He'd be making money while we're at work.
Eh,
Wild money.
right,
Okay. Because he would sell fish and uh make food for the guild for raids and whatnot.
right.
So then they banned the server that the
So
the
how'd they
program
know he
was
was
running
using the
on.
app?
Huh?
How'd they even know he was using the app? That's what I mean. How did the app actually do that? I'm wondering because, like, all right, so you can install network sniffers that will like take your network data and analyze it itself discreetly, right?
Right?
So if you had a network sniffer analyzing that, and it also had access to the source code of the video game, it could distinguish what info was talking about the video game and what info wasn't, right? It could distinguish the network traffic. And I mean, I guess you could just probably watch a specific port, right? Uh, how would they know that you're actually doing that? Like, if your bot was
Because
only
you're
putting
not
in
doing.
ASCII commands,
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
like, and the bot is like watching the game play in its own engine
Yeah.
and then commanding ASCII inputs to the computer, there would be no way that you would be able to detect that you're using a bot. I don't know. I'm gonna dig into it with Grok.
Yeah, digging that
I'll let you
because
know.
I wouldn't mind, something helping me to fish while I'm, busy.
Cause you
You
should be
know?
able to like do some port sniffing or something like that, and watch a port, and then decipher all that info and determine what's on the screen without actually running inside the video game.
Right.
I would think that would be untraceable. I don't know how they would be able to trace that.
And then you had to uh or click on the bobber so it can detect it,
Yeah.
moving.
Well, Grok is pretty fucking smart. I can take screenshots of my computer screen and then paste it to my Grok prompt, and it will like you don't even have to say anything, and it will analyze the screenshot and then decipher and tell you exactly what the screenshot is. Like, so, and a lot of times for the coding, it'll be like, put this in your command prompt and press run, and then you get an error, and then I could just screenshot the error and paste it in the Grok's prompt, and it automatically understands that, oh, hey, he's showing me an error he had because I fucked up. And then Grok goes back through its work and finds out where it fucked up and then uploads you new code.
Huh.
It's fun. Dave's bored as fuck with it. He's off doing something else in La La Land over there.
Yeah, what is Gen X Dave doing?
I don't know.
Fucking around.
He got us muted. He ain't hearing us.
I'm hearing everything, but I'm not
Fucking
paying
deaf ass.
attention.
Deaf ass.
Oh,
Oh.
life moves on.
Dude, we had a couple of viewers the other day, but I heard they didn't listen.
It was only the one viewer that
I'm listening.
I don't think he listened.
I don't think he did. I ain't repeating all that shit anyway. You hear that? Did you hear that? That was the sound of the men working on a train. Gang.
Comment and subscribe.
Yep.
I don't know, guys. Like, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, it can't be what it ain't.
It can be.
No,
It could be
no,
worse.
it can't because it ain't that.
I need a fucking hit off the bull.
Yeah, do that. Well,
So, what's on the agenda?
there's nothing on the agenda, bro. I just figured we'd have another fucking podcast because if it didn't, you know, somebody fucking panties are gritting a bunch, moking.
Who? Well, I mean, we know one person that would get their panties in a bunch that we ain't having a podcast, but I think he's
No,
joking.
if we
right now,
didn't
you know?
if we didn't fucking have a podcast,
I ain't getting
Dan
paid.
would
I can
be-
give two shits.
Dan would be completely fucking fine with that because
I just
he'd
spent
be
2
on
hours
Grok.
more on Grok.
Yeah, exactly.
Working on a podcast that is AI driven that can tell Dave what to talk about when he has nothing to talk about.
No.
Yeah. He'll walk you all through it.
No.
So I don't know what the fuck this is making me choke, but it's getting dumped out of my bowl early. Because wow. All right. All right.
Didn't take your breath away.
Yeah, it took my breath away.
Oh, Lord, help us.
My name's Jeff.
Oh, my God. Anywho. Let's see here.
My name's Jeff.
Anything more from that cannabis content creator?
Yeah, he just put 5 hours ago, he released a 1 hour video, but I don't want to go into a 1 hour video. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Right. How
no,
about
not really.
How about
Shut
a
the
2-minute? How about a 2-minute video?
Of what?
I'm gonna pop them tabs.
A music video.
I know you're not playing that trash. Oh.
My pencil.
Wow.
Hey, Daddy, wanna see see my pencil? I stick it in my nose until it hits the metal. It's yellow, it's special, it tastes like a pretzel. I hit it on my head to make this instrumental. I'm mental, I'm crazy, diaper like a baby. Who's the Easter Bunny? You know that it's my daddy. My rhymes are freaking hot. You weren't even ready.
There's no fucking Easter Bunny.
I'm ready for Betty. Wanna see my pencil? Wanna see my...
All right, I can't anymore. I'm sorry. I couldn't even hold through to the end of it myself.
Man,
So,
I couldn't stand 5 seconds of that.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? What in the actual fuck?
This is the shit that our kids are listening and watching. Yep, this is what the newer generations are entertained by, dude. Like, want to see my pencil? I'll stick it up my nose. Just insane
Jesus.
bullshit.
Till it touches the metal.
Ugh.
Ouch.
I can't stop choking.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, everybody out there playing take a toke every time Dan chokes. They're probably out there choking right now too. Oh. So how'd your day go?
It went decent. It went okay. I could complain, but there'd be no reason to. It was my only day off, and then back at it again for 5 days.
Ah.
Gotta love that rinse and repeat step.
I went to the other side of Taylorville, which is like a half-hour drive, drop off 4 tires, and came back. So made $20 off that.
Hey, we found some negative effects of smoking cannabis.
Well, did you?
Yeah, you now have less cannabis.
Yep. Also may make you tired.
I don't think that's a negative effect. I think that's a feature.
A feature.
That's a feature. That's a benefit.
It don't affect me like that.
I mean,
I don't get tired.
I can control
Well,
it.
that's because
It's
you
not
don't
like
fucking work, dude.
not drowsy like oh, excuse me. Not drowsy like taking some prescription drugs.
That would probably make most people sleep more, honestly.
It's a sleep aid, but it don't put you to sleep. It don't make you drowsy like some drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I know a drug that will make you nod. Just you're awake and then, like, literally.
I don't know, man. My old lady tried some God butt that was from Dearborn, Michigan. That was like so dark purple, the entire bud looked like it was black. And we got a couple ounces of this shit, and man, the first joint we smoked, we were halfway through the joint, and literally she face planted on the fucking table. So boom. But I've never had that happen to me. I mean, I've had edibles knock me in my couch to the point where I couldn't get up because I felt like I was like melting into the floor. But I've never
had anything happen like that to me.
We got to get you some good edibles,
man.
Like I'm talking like 250 milligrams in one dose, bro.
Yeah, that's probably what I need to do anything to me.
Yeah,
like a whole cake.
Yeah.
That he baked. I need the whole cake.
For those of you that don't know, when you eat cannabis, as long as it's activated or decarboxylated, it metabolizes in your liver very, very differently than when you smoke it through your lungs. So you get a much, much different feeling. It's closer to like taking mushrooms, I would say, without the visuals. Without any visuals. Like, you just feel heavy. Suddenly you can hear every vibration in the world. You feel like you got Superman's hearing or something when it comes to motors. What the fuck is that? I keep hearing it.
I have no clue.
And it affects people differently.
Wow. I'll be right back. I'll go get you something to show. I'll show you something that would be able to break that barrier so you would be able to understand.
Who, me? Not understanding nothing. While he's away, I got something to share, Moken.
Oh, yay.
All right, it's time now for the Hannity Washington briefing, and there's only one person available for that, and that is White House Press Secretary, our friend Caroline Leavitt. Let's talk about the Alien Enemies Act that has been used multiple times by multiple presidents, and it is very, very crystal clear. Any invasion, predatory incursion shall be perpetrated, attempted, or threatened against the territory of the U.S. by any foreign nation government, the president shall make a public proclamation of the event, and these people shall be removed from this country. It's not really that difficult to comprehend.
Right.
However, Democrats are using the courts. This is now the, 50th time that Democrats have gone to the courts? 15 times they've been successful. I do believe it'll be overturned. Your thoughts?
Promises made, promises kept, Sean. President Trump campaigned on securing our homeland, on expelling foreign terrorists and illegal violent criminals from our nation's interior, and that is exactly what he is doing. On February 20th, President Trump signed an executive order designating Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization because that is what they are. As you just heard Sarah so eloquently say, these are some of the most heinous monsters, criminal gangsters, violent murderers and rapists who have invaded our country under the lawlessness of the previous administration.
Great.
There is a new sheriff in town now, and he is using every lever of executive authority to secure our country. That's why the president invoked the Alien Enemies Act. He is well within his constitutional and legal and executive authority to do so. And our administration is prepared to fight this battle in court because we know that this was a whole of government effort. This was a successful counterterrorism operation led by President Trump, the Department of State, the Department of Homeland Security, and now the Department of Justice, who will win this battle in court on behalf of the American people and the innocent, beautiful women who were slaughtered. Their lives were taken too short at the hands of these illegal foreign terrorists. And if the Democrats want to pick this fight, Sean, it's one we will pick all day long, because they are now arguing that the president should have turned around those planes with these foreign terrorists on them. I don't think the American public want these people in our country. That's why they overwhelmingly reelected President Trump. He is doing the will of the American public who elected him to this office, and thank God he is, because he is saving countless lives in the process.
Carolyn, 4 different presidents have used this act, the Alien Enemies Act, prior to President Trump. There was a Supreme Court decision in 1948, and the court stated a president's decision under the act precludes judicial review of the removal order. They don't even have a say in the courts on this. I don't think that's going to be overturned.
We feel very confident. We know we are going to win this battle in court because, again, the president is acting within his executive authority as the commander-in-chief of our country, as the Alien Enemies Act clearly states. And so we have, unfortunately, Sean, a judicial branch that has gotten so out of control. You have single judges in single cities, in lower courts, trying to determine the way in which the president handles foreign relations. They cannot be allowed to do that. If we live in a country where the will of the American people is subverted by a single judge in a single court, we no longer live in a democracy. And so this president and this administration are fighting for our Constitution and for our democracy, and fighting for the will of the American people to be done, and for foreign terrorists to be expelled from American soil, to make the communities of law-abiding citizens safer every single day.
Let's talk about the attack this weekend. NBC News reporting the U.S. killed 53 combatants. We're talking about the Houthis. And more importantly, the president also threatens Iran directly, and the consequences will be dire. Those were his words if they continue to foment terror in the region. I would imagine that, and the president warned Hamas if they did not return all the hostages, that the hostilities would begin. Israel is currently bombing Gaza as we speak. Is this the beginning now of the president fulfilling that promise?
Well, the Trump administration and the White House were consulted by the Israelis on their attacks in Gaza tonight. And as President Trump has made it clear, Hamas, the Houthis, Iran, all those who seek to terrorize not just Israel, but also the United States of America, will see a price to pay. All hell will break loose. All of the terrorists in the Middle East, again, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, Iranian-backed terror proxies, and Iran themselves should take President Trump very seriously when he says he is not afraid to stand for law-abiding people. He is not afraid to stand up for the United States of America and our friend and our ally Israel. And we know that these successful defensive strikes that took place over the weekend against the Houthis in the Red Sea were indeed successful. We took out some of their leaders, and the Defense Department is set to continue with this campaign if the Houthis continue with their retaliatory measures. The president is going to stand for the navigation, freedom of navigation of our seas, which is a very basic principle that unfortunately the previous administration refused to stand for, and that's why we are in this mess in the Middle East in the first place. President Trump inherited a lot of problems, Sean, because of the incompetence and the weakness of the Biden-Harris administration, but he is focused on fixing them, and our allies and our adversaries better take him seriously.
Caroline, let me ask you, under President Trump's sanctions and policies, the Iranians were headed towards bankruptcy. Joe Biden turned a blind eye towards those sanctions. The Iranians got rich. And as a result, they were fomenting terror. They're helping Hamas, Hezbollah, the Islamic Jihad, the Houthi rebels, and they're firing ballistic missiles themselves into Israel. It seems to me that under the president's new policy, that it seems very clear that they're not going to be able to foment terror anymore. And with the IAEA report suggesting that the Iranians are much closer to nuclear weapons than the world thought, that would mean that between Israel and the U.S., that those nuclear sites that we understand are buried deep underground will have to go, and probably the refineries that fund their terror will have to go as well. Is that the direction the Iranians seem to want?
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to see, but I would like to talk about the drastic change in policy from Trump 1.0 to the Biden administration. President Trump had his foot on the neck of the Iranian regime. They were weak. They were broke. The Biden administration lifted President Trump's very effective sanctions. The Iranian-backed regime was rich. They were strong, and their proxies in the Middle East were stronger as a result. The Biden administration also lifted the foreign terrorist designation on the Houthis, which, as we know, led to those attacks on U.S. naval ships and commercial vessels as well.
All right. So shit's about to hit the fan. That's basically what that says.
Yeah.
I'm more uninterested in that circus garbage than the shit that I was talking about earlier. I just don't give a fuck. Oh.
Well, I mean, I kind of wouldn't know when.
What? When what?
When shit
when
hits the fan.
Oh.
Just so I know when to bend over and kiss my ass goodbye.
Well, you can clearly see the conflict's not over. So I would be saving up some money in your bet fund for me there, Dave. So,
well, I don't know about that.
It's pretty clear to see from the circus act that we just watched there that the conflict's not over. Ukraine is the peace deal in Ukraine fell through because It included some shisty shit about still enriching Ukraine with weapons, even like so because it still included a weapons deal. So and Russia's not stupid. Like the whole the reason they did this is because they don't want Ukraine to be anything other than neutral. What they agreed they would be when they left the Union or whatever it was, the Soviet Union, USSR. So, I mean, that's all Russia's ever wanted was for America, NATO, and its bordering countries that have a large Russian ethnicity to remain neutral. And the Ukraine, which literally is a Russian founded country, because Ukraine means the borderlands, the fringe of Russia. It was founded by Russians before our country existed. And I don't give a fuck about their conflict, and I don't want U.S. involved in it. And there wouldn't even be a conflict if it wasn't for Biden. And not from Biden as the president. That was Biden as a senator, Biden as a vice president, and Biden as the president. Like, the Ukraine and the Burisma thing's been going on for decades, people. This isn't something that just happened in 2022. Get fucking educated. This shit's all fucking shiesty. You're watching a fucking circus, and it's all money laundering to warmongers in the background. And the fucked up thing is if it comes down to nukes dropping, they ended the world to enrich themselves. And they tricked all of us right and left wingers into fighting against each other while they fucking laughed and did it anyway.
You want to have a laugh? I got one for you right here. I thought this was bullshit, but it turns out to be true. Oh
What?
my God. All right, here we go. This shit's fucking hilarious.
Interesting moment at the White House briefing today when our Peter Doocy asked Caroline Levitt about the EU Parliament member from France who believes that Donald Trump should give back the Statue of Liberty. Watch this mic drop moment.
There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
That's not a zinger, though.
Amazing. Boom.
Drop the mic.
It's not a mic drop.
I'll tell you. She has fast answers.
Hey.
It is the truth, though.
No, it's not the truth. The European World War II was well on its way to being won as soon as Russia turned on Germany. So Russia switched sides, and they ended the war over there. They retook all of Ukraine. They kicked the Germans out of Poland. They kicked the Germans out of France. We had what was our big day? D-Day? Was that the day we landed?
Beaches of Normandy.
Yeah. So the tide had already turned by then. So there was a good post on X the other day commemorating it. For the facts that it is. For the factual info that it was. But I'd have to look through my likes. This is that distillate that's activated already. You can just literally just eat this shit.
Yeah.
And so let's see if we can get the boom. You see that little bubble on the top there?
Yep.
There it goes. That little rice grain is about 20 milligrams. More than enough to get you fucked up, too.
Yeah, I think my dad took like 300.
Yeah, the foreign conflict shit is just, it's stupid as fuck. The whole France, I give a fuck what any country says who has two men as their their president and first lady. So like, I don't know, when Macron steps down and takes his man with him, his man maybe dad with him, like
Or son.
that's really the sickest part of it, right? No, Brigitte is old enough to be his dad, and with the mystery and shroud that's over top of Macron's actual parents, it could be like Brigitte could actually be Macron's dad.
Right.
Brigitte is definitely a dude, but it
Definitely?
also definitely, yeah, the evidence is out there. He's definitely a dude. Definitely has testicles. Definitely was a man, a 37-year-old man, when he supposedly met Emmanuel Macron in school as his professor. So, and he was 14. Emmanuel Macron was 14 years old. And even in France, that's illegal.
Yeah.
And the statute of limitations on it doesn't end until the end of this year. So, I like getting my news source from actual people who like do long form deep dives. They don't just say whatever the fuck they've been told to say on a fucking teleprompter. They look at the details, they look at the facts, and they spend a lot of time digging into it. Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Glenn Greenwald. Like, these people do full feature 2-3 hour documentaries about what they report on. Candace Owens dived into the Tate brothers and their false imprisonment, their unjust imprisonment.
Yep.
All the way from the time they were imprisoned with no evidence to the time a year later when they were finally released, because it took them a year with no evidence to get them out of jail to point out, hey, there's no evidence.
Yep.
And Harvey Weinstein, who, like, I mean, a lot of people know Harvey Weinstein is not a good person. But did he do what he's in jail for? I mean, looking at the evidence was bullshit. So, and that's because Candace Owens did a multi-series dive into it. She's still in the middle of it. She hasn't uncovered all the bullshit in it yet. A lot of them seem to get it wrong when it comes to pot, though, because amidst all their truths and all their deep dives, they all want to just kind of like write pot off as being, well, not the reporters, the YouTube right wingers, conservatives, but
Yeah, and I mean, and most of them, I want to say most of them, probably ain't even never tried it.
right.
And if they did, they got spooked.
I'm anti pot. If you're against pot, I'm against you. Because there ain't no fucking reason to have those antiquated fucking thoughts in your brain anymore.
Right. It's not. You say you want to move forward, but we can't.
Thank God there's other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
me
guess.
working.
Like what?
Like me working fucking 7 days a week. Fucking exhausted, guys. I'm telling you.
You know what that sounds like?
Shut the fuck up, Malkin. You wouldn't know what fucking 7 whole days of work would feel like.
Oh, but I do, sir. I do, sir.
No. Pre-knee, yes, maybe, but you ain't did that. You couldn't do that now.
I couldn't do that now, no.
Exactly. So shut up.
But back then?
Shut the fuck up.
Before...
Dude, shut up.
I understand what...
Did you just hear me? Dude, did you not hear me, bro?
No,
Shut
I didn't.
The fuck up, dude.
What, huh?
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Who? What? When? Where? Why?
Why? Huh? How? Sometimes?
My name's Duff.
Hey, you guys. Anywho, I'm about to call it, bro. I'm really I'm ready to get back on the game.
There's supposed to be
What game?
80,000 unredacted JFK assassination files coming out tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Good.
And that should be interesting.
So the Epstein.
Well, if it's worth
thing is
anything
done?
when you go through it, Dan, if it's worth anything, do a little 10-minute pop up on the fucking podcast. You know, do a 10-minute thing, brief run through. You know, and then post it. Tell me you got it done, so when I get home from work, I could get it uploaded to fucking Spotify.
Yeah, hop on YouTube and delete that 5-minute video I put up there earlier. Good, because it was nothing.
I deleted off there and Rumble.
Good. Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. There's no rumbling tonight. Dave too misses his video game too much.
And I want to get to bed a little bit early.
Yeah, he's gonna play his little space game.
No, I'm actually gonna get on Rocket League because I already won one tournament today.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Fucking Heat Seeker 2v2.
Yeah.
Yep. Smashed.
Ah, did you hear that?
The fucking mouse ran flying by. Anyway, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Later, guys.
Later.
I'm out.
I guess I'll get on.
Comment and subscribe.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and the bell notification.